Alright, so Wyatt recently reached 400 subscribers. Yay! Congratulations. And Wyatt Forever also recently ended. And so, I had the idea to make a little Olingertoons tier list. And I want to at some point also make a scripted review of all of them in order, but that's going to come later. I wanted this to go out now because you just reached 400, so let's start all the way back at the beginning. Wyatt's House Party. So Wyatt's House Party was the first Olingertoon, and you can tell there's parts where the props and things don't look that good, like this fan. I don't. This fan's not looking too good. Also, the whole game show setting, it's kind of interesting, but it gets pretty repetitive because each episode it's like they do a thing, one of them gets kicked off, Ian tries to interfere. Most of the time it doesn't actually lead to anything, so Wyatt's House Party is gonna go C tier for now. Alright, next up is low budget. I don't really like this show that much. Like the whole conceit of it, just parodying currently existing things. Like, I don't know, I don't find it very funny. I think it's worse than Wyatt's House Party, but I don't. Should it go in D tier? No, I'm not gonna put anything in D tier because I still overall like all of Wyatt's shows, I'd say. Next up, literal anime. So, literal anime, this was I think this is the next step forward when it comes to these toons, because, the character models are way more detailed than Wyatt's House Party. The eyes are weird, but I kind of like them. To be honest, I don't mind the eyes. And it can kind of get away with being ridiculous and crazy because, it's anime and anime is like that. So it's going to be, I'd say B tier, because it's still pretty entertaining. Alright, Mr. Macabrez. This is S tier. Love this show. This one's great. Mr. Macabrez is really the first modern Olingertoon, I'd say. These three, he was still figuring out what to do. This one's got all the good stuff. And it even has some things that appear only in it that don't appear in any of the later ones, with there's scenes where Wyatt used Google Maps to make panning shots on streets and things, and those are really neat, but I haven't seen him used since. But yeah, Mr. Macabrez, love it. One Average Family. I do not like this show. I said I wouldn't put anything D tier, but oh boy, this one's tempting me. I don't like this show. Everyone in this show is terrible. None of the characters are good, except maybe Moron, but everyone's mean to Moron. And he's the one character I kind of seems like you're meant to empathize with, but then you're not really supposed to. I don't know. And then all hell breaks loose and its weird incomprehensibleness, which, could have worked if the original part of the show was more normal, but it's so weird already that when the universe breaks apart, it doesn't seem that much out of left field. Although this does have one of my favorite fourth wall breaks in all of these shows.
Huh? Hey, that was pretty cool.
So I'm saying I think it's more interesting than low budget. I'm putting it there. All right, Love Block. I like Love Block. This may be a controversial opinion here, just Love Block fandom. It's literally only me. I'd say. But yeah, Love Block, good show. I've kind of come to accept recently that I like romance things. Like, I didn't think I did, but like, the more that I've been watching and reading, the more I've realized I like them. So yeah, Love Block. Love Block's a good show. It manages to portray that Jerry does actually care about the three girls pretty good. All three of the girls are pretty good, but you can only pick one. It's obviously Charlotte. You know, you can fight me in the comments, all three people who've watched Love Block, and I don't think it's S tier, because the ending, I don't really like the ending of the show with how Wiley becomes some sort of like super villain and he dies. And like he throws a bomb and
Jerry, time for you to die.
I don't know, it feels too cartoony almost. Like some cartoony stuff happens in the show at other points, but the end feels too cartoony. So that's gonna have to be an A tier. You haven't changed my mind. Whatever family goes below low budget. Alright. The Experiments of Beverly Hills. This is the longest running show currently that Wyatt has made, and I'm gonna put it, yeah, there, because I think it's just cool that he's managed to can keep it going this long, and it's still like good and entertaining. Also, just there's so many characters in this, but still each one manages to like be unique, despite there being probably 100 characters at this point. Actually, how many experiments are there? So I'll look it up later and put it in here, but it's a pretty big number, I'm sure. And the whole universe of this show just like interests me, just the way things work with the bionic monster manufacturer and all these like experiment creature things, just the way they're made and like how they function like in society. I find that interesting, and it has made me come up with a few of my own ideas for things that could work within this universe. And if you see my comments on these episodes, I ask a lot of questions about the world building, even though I don't know if the world building was put first, but I kind of want to world build around this show. So, no, I'll leave it there. Alright, Wyatt Forever. This was my favorite Olingertoon for a bit, but I kind of have mixed feelings on it because a lot of the episodes are really good. Like, episode 6 is one of my favorite things that Wyatt's ever made. Like, I really like it. However, like the whole Australia arc, I don't really like, and some of the later episodes also just aren't that good. And also, kind of towards the end, it gets a bit repetitive. Like there are 2 or 3 episodes that are just like, oh no, this person is leaving. So I feel like this show started out really strong, but kind of declined as it went along. But because it was so good at the beginning, I'm gonna have to put it in front of Love Block here. Kind of hate to put it not in S tier, because there are definitely S tier episodes, but as an entire show, it's probably bumped down to A tier, just because some of these episodes really bring down the whole experience. Low Budget Reborn. I'm gonna put it just ahead of normal low budget. Again, it's basically the same show, just slightly higher quality because it's been released like 2 years after. Like, there are a couple funny jokes, but I don't know, this whole like just straight up parodying a show just for the point of parodying it, I don't know, I still don't understand the appeal. Pokemon Laia. I am not really into Pokemon that much. Like, I've played Red and Blue, and I've played Emerald, and that's really it. I haven't watched any of the Pokemon anime, and I don't know any Pokemon related things past the 90s. So I feel like I'm not really the best judge for how good this show is. Like the battle scenes I think are pretty interesting. Like he managed to do them fairly well. Uh, I'm just gonna put it there. Alright. Greetings from Freedom Island. This is a weird show. Like this show goes weird places that like I didn't imagine them going. So, real quick story I think's funny that illustrates the weird places this show goes is I stopped watching it for a while, and then a new episode popped up, and I clicked on it, and I had not watched it for like 5 or 6 episodes, and it just opens with this.
Okay, so Digby and I are going into that chaos sphere.
So how do we get from accidentally finding a slightly magical island to the Death Star? I have no idea. But I feel like this show almost goes too far. Like I think it would have been cooler if it was like more just about the island, cuz like why is Freedom Island important? Like I don't really remember. Like maybe it's said somewhere. I think she just wants to put like a house on it or something. It has talking animals and it only appears if like if you're lost at sea or something. But like I don't think it has magic powers, does it? Like it doesn't give you magic powers if you find it. I don't know. I don't really understand this show. Put it down there. Buy our stuff! I kind of wish this show went longer than it did, because I think the characters are cool. Like their designs and just like their personalities and things are really neat. But there's only 7 episodes. So it's not really, it feels like it was kind of a waste for these characters. Like I want to see these characters and other stuff. And like it's such a short show. Gonna put it there, I guess. Oh no, I skipped. I skipped Four Little Friends. Oh no. Alright, so Four Little Friends. I actually really like this show. I can't believe I skipped it. Four Little Friends. It went for a while, but I still think it could have gone longer. Like the characters, I feel like you could put them in an infinite number of situations, and it would be interesting. Like just any random situation, just throw these four into it, and it would be really interesting just to see what they get up to. So I almost wish for like a reboot of this show. Like if any of these shows got a reboot, I'd say I'd hope for Four Little Friends the most. And I also hope that the rest of the comics get posted somewhere, because the comics are pretty good too. Galactic Girls, best show, 100% best show. The animation, the story, the characters, I love everything about this show. Put that there. I hope it keeps going, and I hope it stays kind of smaller scale like it is. Like nothing too insane or out of left field or crazy has happened. It's just kind of like alien girls trying to live normal life. And I hope it stays that way. I hope it doesn't escalate to like they save the world or something. Like that feels wrong almost. And like I hope the FBI agent guy doesn't bust out like a giant mech suit robot and try to destroy the city and kill them or something. Like I hope it stays smaller scale like it is, where they're just kind of doing normal everyday things, but they're aliens. Like I like that. I don't know. And finally, rated E for epic. I don't know how to feel about this one. This one's like I feel like I can't even rank it yet because it hasn't been along that long. It has a lot of potential. I'll put it there. It's more of a live action show than it is a toon, like a cartoon show. And I feel like it has a lot of potential, and I mean, first of all, it's cool seeing Sonya come back because Sonya's a cool character, and I like Sonya. And, you know, Birdmouse seems neat too. I like his voice, I like his accent. And I feel like this has a lot of potential to be good with, you know, the fan feedback. The main problem is, you know, there's not that many. I'll move it up there. There's not that many fans giving feedback. Like, it's literally me, KD, and maybe Ethan sometimes. Like, I don't know if this was too ambitious to do at this time or what, but I do like the kind of variety show idea. But I feel like it's almost replaced the more like shorter random puppet videos. Because after this came out, there's been way less kind of live action puppet videos posted. And it feels like they're being put into this instead of their own videos, which, you know, is fine, but I kind of like the standalone random puppet videos. And the scenario switcheroo is pretty neat too, and it's kind of gotten better because originally it was kind of boring. The first couple episodes kind of boring, but it's kind of, I think, why it's realized the potential of the switcheroo a bit more. And overall, I think the show has a lot of potential to be good, but I really don't know if it's gonna go there. Like, I don't even know what to do with it, really. Like, if I were making this show, I don't even know where I would take it, because it feels like it needs something more than it has now, but I have no idea what that would be. But yeah, this is my overall ranking of the Olingertoons. Galactic Girls, obviously, best show. If you haven't watched any of these, definitely go watch Galactic Girls first. Yep. Also, I'm going to have the link to this tier list on Tier Maker in the description, so if you want to order these, have fun.